今天是2025年10月17日，然后商业与经济上的新闻是中美争夺科技供应链控制权，企业承压。The small company in Europe caught in the big trade war between the US and China. Late last month, Washington's intensifying contacts with Beijing for control over the tech supply chain spilled over in the Netherlands. The Dutch government, under pressure from US officials, took control of the Chinese oven chip maker Nasperior, which has its headquarters in the Netherlands but is owned by the Chinese company Wintech, operates a complex global spending supply chain typical of chip manufacturing. The company designs older types of chip used in cars and electronics and employs thousands of people across Europe, the United States, and Asia. Its factories process slabs of silicon in Britain and Germany, and assemble and test chips in China, the Philippines, and Malaysia. On September 13, the Dutch government declared that company decisions would now be determined by its Minister of Economic Affairs, Vincent Karaman's. Hours earlier, the United States had expanded the scope of a trade practice that meant Nasperior would face strict controls on its operations because its owner, Wintech, was already on the list. In a statement on Sunday revealing its action, the Dutch government said it has moved to prevent Nasperior products from becoming unavailable in an emergency. But documents published in an Amsterdam court on Tuesday showed that months earlier, US officials had pressured the Dutch government about the company's ownership. The US Department of Commerce placed trade registration on Wintech last December. In June, American officials told the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs that Nasperior could be next unless the company replaced the Chinese chief executive Zhang Xuezheng. The fact that the company's CEO is still the same Chinese owner is problematic, the American officer said, according to the court documents. Nasperior is just one of the companies caught in the middle of a battle for control of the global chip industry, as Washington and Beijing have claimed sweeping authority to control supply chains for semiconductors and minerals, critical inputs for everything from cars to artificial intelligence systems. As the United States and China flex their influence over supply chains, other countries will seek to unwind Chinese ownership or keep technology assets on national security grounds, said River Guozhong, a director at Rhodium Group, a research firm. Nasperior was an obvious target. The Chinese government has spent millions on the dollar on boosting its domestic industries, and Chinese companies like the state-affiliated investors that showed Nasperior to Wintech also ramped up acquisition of foreign firms that make chips and other technologies. While Chinese chip makers have struggled to make the cutting-edge chip that power advanced AI systems that make an increasingly large scale of other types of chips. Some officials in the United States and Europe have grown concerned that China could come to dominate the market for those chips. Even though they are less advanced, they are used in cars and wide array of mechanism, machinery, and appliances. Now, many governments want these supply chains back under their controls, Mr. Goldman said. There have been some very big regrets, Mr. Goldman said. All these governments are very uncomfortable with that and would like to see these assets back in their possessions. Days after the Dutch government took control of Naspers, China's Ministry of Commerce issued a notice barring Naspers' Chinese units from exporting some products, the company said in a statement on Tuesday. The company is seeking an exemption from the Chinese controls and has deployed all available resources to that end, the statement said. Chinese Ministry of Commerce has not publicly commented on its restrictions on Naspers. He Yongqian, a spokeswoman for the ministry, said at a briefing on Thursday that Washington's expanded controls has seriously undermined the security and stability of the global industry supply chain. The Dutch government's takeover of Naspers was a clear example of how the American rule harms the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese companies, Ms. He said. Beijing exerted its influence over another part of global technology supply chain last week when it announced sweeping controls on critical minerals that are used in chips, cars, missiles, and more. The new rules closely resembled American technology controls that Chinese officials have long criticized. The Chinese government also targeted an industry that is seen as crucial for its own security economic growth, shipping. On Tuesday, Beijing imposed sanctions on American subsidiaries of the South Korean shipping company Huawei, accusing them of supporting assisting the United States with its shipbuilding industry. The order took effect immediately and bars Chinese companies and individuals from doing business with the Hanwha units. Ms. Goldman at Rhodium Group said government would continue to look for ways to regain control of critical technology manufacturing as the contest for influence between Washington and Beijing escalated. This has been building for a long time, she said. Thanks for your listening and hoping you have a good day.